Secrets are dangerous, but public secrets, those are devastating. For years, Monica, Vanessa, Simone, and Alicia had built lives people envied. Their friendship became legendary. Their marriages appeared perfect. Their businesses flourished. Their family seemed untouchable. Then everything exploded, and the entire world watched. The destruction began at 6:03 a.m. on a Monday. An anonymous blog known for exposing Atlanta's wealthy elite published a story. The headline was impossible to ignore. The article included photographs, financial documents, hotel receipts, corporate records, anonymous witness statements, and allegations connecting all four women to various scandals. Within hours, the story went viral. Thousands shared it, then hundreds of thousands, then millions. The internet became obsessed. Monica woke up to 47 missed calls, 23 text messages, 7 voicemails. She immediately knew something was wrong. Then she saw the headlines. Stories about Terrence's secret child were everywhere. Photos of the teenager appeared online. Comment sections exploded. People questioned Monica's intelligence, her marriage, her judgment. Complete strangers discussed her private life as entertainment. The humiliation felt unbearable. Worse yet, her son Jordan saw everything. At school, students showed him articles, screenshots, memes, videos. His father's betrayal had become internet content. Children mocked him, teachers whispered, parents stared. Jordan came home furious, humiliated, heartbroken. He locked himself inside his room, refused dinner, ignored phone calls, ignored friends. Monica stood outside his door crying, because no matter how much pain she felt, watching her child suffer hurt even more. The situation became even worse for Vanessa. National media outlets picked up the FBI investigation story. Television networks covered it daily. Business journalists dissected every financial decision she'd ever made. News helicopters hovered outside Reed Technologies' headquarters. Former employees began giving interviews. Former associates started sharing stories. Everyone suddenly had something to say. Some allegations were true, others weren't. But truth no longer mattered. Public opinion had already decided. Vanessa was guilty. Then came social media, the most ruthless courtroom in the world. Hashtags trended for weeks. People chose sides. Influencers created videos. Podcasters discussed theories. Content creators analyzed every detail. Millions of strangers debated the women's lives. Every photograph became evidence. Every interview became scrutiny. Every mistake became permanent. The internet wasn't interested in facts. The internet wanted drama. And drama was everywhere. Meanwhile, Simone faced professional destruction. The suspicious death investigation remained active. Hospital administrators suspended her clinical privileges. Patients transferred to other doctors. Speaking engagements were canceled. Medical boards demanded explanations. Years of hard work suddenly hung in the balance. Reporters camped outside her home. News vans followed her vehicle. Her children became frightened. Marcus became angry. For the first time in their marriage, Simone felt completely powerless. Then Monica made a decision, one she never imagined making, one she prayed she would never have to make. She filed for divorce. 20 years of marriage, gone. The filing immediately became public record. Media outlets published details within hours. News stations discussed the split. Commentators speculated about financial settlements. The public consumed every update. Terrence called repeatedly. Monica ignored him. Some betrayals simply cannot be repaired. But Terrence wasn't willing to surrender quietly. He hired one of Atlanta's most aggressive attorneys. The divorce became a battlefield. Property disputes, business assets, investment holdings, child support, everything became contested. Every hearing created new headlines. Every filing created new drama. The marriage that once looked perfect now resembled a war. And everyone was watching. Alicia's problems extended beyond scandal. Her father, Raymond Brooks, became the center of multiple investigations. Federal authorities examined decades of financial transactions. Developers began cooperating. Former partners began talking. Old records resurfaced. The allegations grew more serious each week. For the first time in her life, Alicia questioned everything she knew about her family. The man she admired, the man she trusted, the man who taught her business. Was he actually a criminal? The possibility haunted her. The stress began affecting Alicia's marriage. Isaiah had supported her throughout the chaos, but support had limits. One evening, he confronted her. "What else aren't you telling me?" The question hit hard, because Alicia didn't have an answer, not an honest one. Too many secrets still existed. Too many lies remained buried. Isaiah's trust was slipping away, and she knew it. Then came the moment everyone feared. The sisterhood finally broke. The four women met privately at Vanessa's estate. What began as a conversation became an argument. The argument became accusations. The accusations became war. Monica blamed Alicia. Simone blamed Vanessa. Alicia blamed everyone. Vanessa defended herself. Years of resentment surfaced. Old wounds reopened. Long-buried jealousy emerged. Nothing remained hidden. By the end of the night, friendships spanning 3 decades lay in ruins. The destruction spread beyond the women. Parents argued. Siblings took sides. Cousins fought online. Family gatherings stopped. Holiday traditions disappeared. Relationships fractured across generations. The scandal infected everyone connected to them. Nobody escaped untouched. Perhaps the greatest tragedy involved the children. They didn't create the lies. They didn't create the scandals. Yet they suffered the consequences. School became difficult. Friendships became strained. Questions became constant. Their parents' mistakes became their burden, and no amount of money could protect them. The breaking point came when a major television network aired an exclusive interview. A former employee from Reed Technologies appeared on camera. Face visible. Name revealed. No anonymity. The employee made explosive allegations: money laundering, corporate fraud, political corruption. But one statement shocked everyone, especially Vanessa. The employee claimed someone inside the sisterhood had secretly cooperated with federal investigators. Someone close, someone trusted, someone pretending to be a friend. That night, all 4 women received identical envelopes. No return address, no fingerprints, no clues. Inside each envelope was a photograph. The same photograph, a picture taken 30 years earlier on Magnolia Street. 4 smiling girls, best friends, dreaming of a better future. On the back of the photograph, a handwritten message appeared. One of you betrayed the others first. Nothing else, no explanation, no signature, no names, just a statement. A statement that changed everything. Because for the first time, the women stopped asking who was destroying their lives and started asking a far more dangerous question. Which one of us started it all? Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes it destroys everything first. For nearly a year, Monica, Vanessa, Simone, and Alicia had watched their lives collapse piece by piece. Marriages shattered, businesses crumbled, friendships died, families fractured, careers hung by a thread. And through it all, one question remained unanswered. Who started it all? The answer was waiting on Magnolia Street, the same place where four little girls once dreamed of escaping poverty, the same place where a secret had been buried for over 30 years, a secret worth millions, a secret powerful enough to destroy generations. 32 years earlier, Magnolia Street was a struggling neighborhood. Families fought to survive. Homes needed repairs. Schools lacked resources. Jobs were scarce. When a major development company was accused of discriminatory housing practices, community leaders filed a lawsuit. The case became historic. After years of legal battles, the neighborhood won. A settlement worth nearly $20 million was awarded. The money was supposed to transform Magnolia Street. New housing, community centers, educational programs, business grant scholarships, a chance at a better future. But that future never arrived. The money disappeared. For decades, residents wondered what happened. Rumors circulated, accusations surfaced, investigations started and stopped. No answers ever came. Until now. Federal investigators finally uncovered the truth. The settlement money had never reached the community. Instead, it was secretly diverted through a network of fake organizations, shell corporations, fraudulent nonprofits, hidden accounts. The money moved quietly through dozens of entities before disappearing entirely, and at the center of it all stood one man, Raymond Brooks, Alicia's father. The revelation hit Alicia harder than anything else. Not the affair scandal, not the investigation, not even the collapse of her friendships. This was different. This was her father, the man who taught her business, the man she admired, the man she trusted, the man she spent her entire life defending. Federal documents revealed everything: signatures, bank transfers, corporate filings, witness testimony, evidence spanning 3 decades. There was no misunderstanding, no mistake, no explanation. Raymond Brooks had stolen millions from families who already had nothing, including the families of Monica, Vanessa, and Simone, including his own neighbors. Suddenly, everything made sense. The wealth, the influence, the mysterious business opportunities, the hidden partnerships, the shell companies, the offshore accounts, the financial network connecting everyone. It all traced back to the stolen settlement. Vanessa's money laundering operation had unknowingly evolved from structures originally created by Raymond. Terrence's construction contracts connected to companies tied to the scheme. Hospital investments linked back to the same financial network. The conspiracy wasn't recent. It was generational. Alicia demanded answers. She arranged a private meeting at her father's estate. For the first time in months, all 4 women gathered together. Not as friends, not as sisters, but as survivors searching for the truth. Raymond sat at the head of the table, older, tired, defeated. Federal agents were preparing charges. His attorneys had already advised him to remain silent. But silence was no longer possible. The women deserved answers. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then Monica slid a folder across the table. Thousands of pages of evidence, years of investigations, financial records, witness statements, bank documents. Raymond stared at them quietly. Then he looked at Alicia. Tears filled her eyes. "Tell me it isn't true." The room remained silent. "Please tell me it isn't true." Raymond lowered his head. And finally, he confessed. The settlement money had been entrusted to a group of community leaders, people tasked with protecting Magnolia Street's future. But greed changed everything. Some leaders wanted more. Others convinced themselves they deserved compensation. Small amounts disappeared first, then larger amounts. Eventually, millions vanished. Raymond became one of the architects, not alone, but willingly. Over time, he built an empire using money intended for struggling families. Every luxury home, every investment, every success built on stolen dreams. Monica exploded. Years of pain erupted, her marriage destroyed, her family shattered, her son suffering, her career damaged. And now she learned her family's future had been stolen before she was even old enough to understand. You stole from us. Her voice shook. You stole from everyone. Raymond couldn't look at her because she was right. Vanessa finally understood how she became trapped. The financial network she inherited wasn't built by business geniuses. It was built by thieves. The corruption she believed she controlled had existed long before she arrived, long before Reed Technologies, long before her success. She collapsed into tears because for the first time she realized she wasn't entirely self-made. Part of her empire had been connected to stolen money, and that truth devastated her. Simone remained silent longest. Then she spoke softly. My grandmother lost her house. Everyone looked at her. She thought she couldn't afford to save it. Tears streamed down her face. That money could have helped her. The room fell silent because suddenly the scandal wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about bank accounts. It wasn't about business. It was about lives, real suffering, real opportunity stolen. Then came the moment nobody would forget. Alicia stood, walked around the table, and faced her father, the man she spent her life admiring, the man who taught her everything, the man she loved. I defended you. Raymond closed his eyes. I believed in you. Tears rolled down his face. I built my life trying to make you proud. The room grew quiet. Then Alicia delivered words that shattered him. You should have been trying to deserve it. The fallout was immediate. Class action lawsuits were filed. Former residents demanded compensation. Federal prosecutors expanded investigations. Properties were seized. Accounts were frozen. Business assets were examined. Executives were questioned. The legal battles would continue for years. But one thing became clear. The truth could no longer be hidden. Months later, life looked very different. Monica finalized her divorce and rebuilt her law practice. Vanessa stepped away from her company and began cooperating with investigators. Simone cleared her name and returned to medicine. Alicia severed ties with her father's business empire and started over independently. The scars remained, but so did the lessons. 1 year later, the four women returned to Magnolia Street. The neighborhood looked different. A new community center stood where an abandoned building once sat. Scholarship programs had been funded. Homes were being repaired. The rebuilding had begun, slowly, painfully, but honestly. The women stood together beneath the same streetlight where they once made a promise as children. No luxury gowns, no bodyguards, no cameras, just 4 women, 4 survivors, 4 friends. Monica looked at the others. We lost a lot. Vanessa nodded. Almost everything. Simone smiled softly. But not everything. Alicia looked around Magnolia Street, then at the women beside her, the women who had survived betrayal, scandal, lies, heartbreak, and destruction. Her sisters, her family, her home, and for the first time in years, they stood together without secrets, without lies, without fear. The headlines eventually disappeared, the scandals faded, the investigations ended, but Magnolia Street remembered, people remembered, and the four women never forgot the lesson their journey taught them. Success built on deception eventually collapses. Truth, buried, eventually rises. And no matter how powerful a lie becomes, the truth is patient. It always waits, and when it finally arrives, everything changes. Please like, share, and subscribe.